The foil.
I'm not at all stupid. I may sound like I am, but I'm really not.
The femme fatale.
You really believe there could be a you and me?
I know it, Faye.
The fumbled kidnap.
Scoop up little Charlie and away you go.
I like you, mister.
Got a bad feeling about this.
Ah! Put the gun down!
What you gotta do is pick yourself a guy who's a little bit off and throw him a curve.
Dark and Deadly. After Dark My Sweet, tonight at 10 on 4.
Next on 4, a highly charged Equinox sparks off an enlightening investigation into the cause of thunderstorms.
In tutti questi anni non mi è mai sembrato che sentisse la mancanza di una macchina.
No, infatti, finora.
Mondeo. It makes all the difference.
It was my grandfather's idea. Thought the place could do with a fine avenue of broadleaf limes. He never sat in their shade, he never saw the vista, but he had the vision.
There are still people who put others before themselves. At the Equitable Life, we pay no commission to middlemen, we have no shareholders, so you profit from our principles.
Oh, fancy your game? Right, I'll be Zob.
With no shareholders and no commission to middlemen, it's an equitable life, Henry.
Ever had it in a hammo?
Coburn's. Always special. So why reserve it?
Starting your own business can be scary. So we have over 4,000 small business advisors to help you avoid the unexpected. You'll find one in every high street branch, ready to help get your business off the ground. We also provide regular support to keep it going forward, so you can get on with your business and sleep at nights too. NatWest, more than just a bank.
The curved, taut framework of the wings, tightly engineered panels, elongated bonnet at the front, the throbbing horsepower, the potency of the engine, streamliners selling fantasy rather than function, the swinging 1660s, erotica, sex, prolific writing. Snatch a moment with David Baddiel and sort your satire from your scepter. Fun with wigs. Crank your engine, drive that shaft. Without Walls, Tuesday at 9 on 4.
Channel 4, no better player, except me.
Notes.
Squids!
Bread. Cash.
Wonga!
Dinero. Whatever you call money, find out how to make it and make the most of it.
Nelson's.
Cashola.
By the way, we call it Dosh. Tuesday, 8 p.m, Channel 4. In life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Wonga.
An electrifying performance now on 4, guaranteed to take the world by storm as Equinox surveys some thunderous skies.
I went for a walk on an August afternoon, blue sky over my head, just one distant thundercloud. I was with my dogs, and there was one peal of thunder, and I called my dogs to me because they're frightened of thunder. And I said, "Don't worry, you're all right as long as you're with me." And that's all I remember. I woke in a pool of blood. I didn't know what had happened to me. I thought I'd been shot in the back. I lay there for a long time, thinking I was going to die. I was in terrible pain. It was then that I realized I must have been hit by lightning. The storm came around and was just thundering all around me.
Kiva, E-field, 2.5 kV per meter, foul steady.
The lab's research cameras capture every successful trigger on tape. Here, they can begin to lay bare the anatomy of the lightning bolt.
Thunderstorms. We drop probes into the paths of tornadoes, trying to get an idea of what kind of force is contained within these vortices. Maneuverability is very important. In split-second situations, there's very little margin for error.
What do you want?
That time again.
Okay.
Copies will need posting to all our major clients tonight.
Fine. Just put it there.
Thought I'd bring these envelopes to help you along.
No need. It's all done. Night.
Work smarter, not just harder. Talk to us on 0800 800 800.
How's your game? Right, I'll be zombie.
With no shareholders and no commission to middlemen, it's an equitable life, Henry.
Starting tomorrow, only in the Times. Play Scrabble with the Times Scrabble scratch card. There's a total of £75,000 to be won. When you make words, make money. And when you win, you'll know instantly. Pick up your free Times Scrabble scratch card with the Times. Tomorrow, the Times. At 25p, you can't afford to be without it.
This is the Swallow Hotel, Bristol, one of 35 Swallow hotels throughout Britain. Like every Swallow hotel, it has a character all of its own. And in common with most Swallow hotels, it has something that can turn even the shortest business trip into a break.
A brilliant pool.
Swallow Hotels. Because in business, you deserve all the breaks you can get.
We all have second thoughts occasionally. So at Nationwide, when you open a savings account that ties your money up, you get 14 days to change your mind.
You may now be seated.
Bonnie.
Dotty? And so does everyone else.
Bye.
Building trust with Nationwide, the building society.
On August 22nd, 1957, I was struck by lightning on top of Pikes Peak. That's the mountain in the distance over there. And I met a young couple when I was up there. I took their picture, and they headed the opposite direction. And a bolt of lightning came out of a little small thunderstorm. The bolt stopped my heart, stopped my breathing, and knocked me up in the air, about 10 feet, the lady said. I came down on the ground, I came down head first and got a concussion from it. And the bolt actually exited out my feet and split the soles of my shoes. Her husband gave me artificial respiration and saved my life.
Lightning kills more people than floods, tornadoes, or hurricanes. Attractive targets are metal equipment, people in the water, on the water, or in open areas. If thunderstorms threaten, take cover.
Upwards, but didn't connect. A failed lightning bolt. This is probably the only time a positive streamer has been caught on video. The photographer here was very lucky. If this streamer had been the one to connect, it could have been fatal. Learning to protect our world from lightning. But in the process, we're also discovering that perhaps we need it. Without it, we might not even be alive.
All over Britain, homeowners have less up top than they should have. He's got less up top. Believe it or not, so has he. And he's had nothing worthwhile up top for years. He, on the other hand, has just topped up with new, easier-to-handle Super Wrap Pink. Because to meet today's energy efficiency standards, loft insulation needs to be around 200 millimetres thick. So, if you think you're insulated against losing heat and wasting money, think again. Think pink. Think Super Wrap Pink from Owens Corning.
Just help yourself to John Smith, who is trying to save the world, and it is yours.
There's something completely new in the pub. John Smith's Extra Smooth Bitter. Pure silk in a glass. So, you still don't need gimmicks.
When you first set up home, you only have a few bits and pieces. But over time, your worldly possessions tend to grow, as can the cost of insuring them. Who should you call? With Direct Line, you just answer a few quick questions and we'll do all we can to make sure you get exactly the right amount of cover.
Thank you.
At exactly the right price. For an instant quote, call 0113 246 8877.
Nicole.
Papa?
Maman.
The Renault Clio. It's perfect for visiting dignitaries.
Someone can give you a free personal organizer when you buy any one of a range of selected vitamins. Who can? Boots.
Ever had it in a hammock?
Coburn's. Always special. So why reserve it?
Cellnet and Vodafone give you no calls with their £29 tariff. Orange include an extra 60 minutes of calls free. Another reason why, on average, Orange users save £20 every month. The future's bright. The future's orange.
If you receive a tax return form and require more information about self-assessment, then get in shape and phone for more details.
Of currents and lightning, the averages are sort of 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 amperes. Not unusual. But if you go out in the tail of the distribution, you find these whomping big currents, sometimes 200,000, 300,000 amps. The value of what Golka is trying to do is he has a bank of batteries which will enable him to explore this region. We know that if ball lightning has any reality, it's a very rare phenomenon. It doesn't happen in every thunderstorm. It's something which happens once in a blue moon, but at least I tend to believe that something is going on, something we don't understand, but something real.
Other stories of mysterious events around thunderstorms are closer to being resolved. For decades, pilots have reported seeing brief flashes in the sky above storms. The reports were ignored. But perhaps they were true. This research footage was taken a few months ago above the massive lightning storms of the American prairies. Scientists have nicknamed these flashes sprites. They're almost too faint to be visible and last a fraction of a second. They're 10 miles wide and reach over 50 miles straight up from the top of the storm. And until 2 years ago, no scientist had any idea they were there. Nobody yet knows what they are or how the storm creates them. Their power and their effect on the atmosphere are still mysteries.
There's a whole ancient mythology surrounding lightning. For example, Zeus running across the sky holding bolts of lightning, and a Chinese goddess flashing mirrors, and a thunderbird rising up out of a mountain. I think myths are the stories that we tell ourselves in order to cope with these great cosmic events. They frame our imagination and also our fears.
Perhaps that's not surprising. Before human beings even existed, lightning was the main source of fire on Earth. Many of the world's forest ecosystems have evolved to take advantage of lightning fires. Trees whose seeds need fire to germinate exist because of lightning. Others colonize the areas the fires lay bare. At its peak, the temperature of a lightning bolt hits 50,000 degrees, and the air itself burns. Nitrogen and oxygen react together to make nitrates, vital plant fertilizers which rain to Earth. Lightning provides our planet with a third of one of its most vital chemicals.
Lightning has been around for a long, long time. Lightning might have been the origin of life on Earth, in fact. In the primordial soup, it might have created the chemicals from which life evolved. Many aspects, some that we understand, probably most that we don't, of life on Earth is related to the fact that lightning has been here virtually forever. In fact, in England, fulgurites, the glassy tubes that lightning makes in the sand, have been dated to be 200 million years old. And certainly lightning was around before that.
Only looking from space can you appreciate the real scale of lightning on Earth. images from a low light level camera on the space shuttle show nighttime storms flickering across entire continents. But it's not just the Earth. There is evidence for lightning on other planets in the solar system too. On Jupiter, it's actually been photographed. This violent flash of light, 1,000 miles long, was caught by one of the Voyager probes as it passed. Perhaps there is lightning everywhere. On Earth, all it takes to make lightning is damp hot air to create thunderclouds. So the more heat, the more lightning. This has led Earl Williams to explore a startling new idea, using lightning to measure the world's temperature.
Well, about 5 years ago, I embarked on an expedition to tropical Darwin, Australia, where some of the largest thunderstorms in the atmosphere form. These storms go to about 20 kilometers altitude. They make continuous lightning, 1 lightning flash per second. They're real giants. One thing we noticed right away was that when the temperature rose by 1 degree centigrade, the lightning went up by 4 to 5-fold.
What he realized was that if a higher temperature meant more thunderstorms in Australia, the same thing ought to happen everywhere. If the whole planet warms up, there ought to be more lightning. Find a way to measure the increase or decrease in the amount of lightning across the planet, and in theory, you could use it to measure changes in the Earth's temperature.
How do you monitor lightning on a planetary scale? It turns out there's a natural framework for doing this. It's called Schumann resonance. Every lightning is like a little radio antenna which transmits radio waves over a broad range of frequencies. It turns out the Earth is tuned in the Schumann resonance to 1 frequency. And just as you tune in a radio station on your radio, you can tune in the Schumann resonance at 8 cycles per second. And at that frequency, you can listen to effectively all the lightning on the planet.
The sound of more than 100 lightning bolts a second scattered around the globe. Each one creates a burst of radio waves that travels right around the Earth. When the Earth warms slightly, the volume increases. When the Earth cools, there is less. But this technique cannot yet be used to search for evidence of global warming. That would require Schumann resonance records going back at least a century, and we only have them for the past 30 years. We are just beginning to realize how intimately lightning is bound up with the living processes of our planet. Perhaps we owe it to our future to learn to understand it better.
I was struck by lightning 3 years ago, and I'm still, I think, in the process of recovery. My life changed completely after I was struck. Everything I was, everything that I did was taken away, stripped away. And in a way, I still find lightning storms fabulously beautiful. I can't stop going out into storms. And even though I stand there and wonder how it ever entered me, I just love to watch them. I think I always will.
Too much rain. A lot of people think that I have a death wish because I stand under lightning bolts, but no, I have a life wish. I've been in lightning for 20 years now, and if I have to go, you know, when God calls me home, if I have to go, I'd rather go by one just major bolt of lightning and take me out, and then maybe I can be up there running the lightning machine, see?
If you'd like a copy of the Electric Skies video, please send a cheque for £12.99, made payable to Channel 4, to Electric Skies Video, PO Box 6120, London W5 2GJ.
Let Equinox satisfy your desire for the most enormous, colossal, destructive, surging, thrilling explosions. Celebrate mankind's obsession. Kaboom! Equinox next Sunday at 7 on 4.
In the 1950s, America's abstract expressionist painters were covertly funded by the CIA. A puzzle of patronization unravelled by hidden hands. Next on 4.
The hunt for a killer and the resolution of personal issues.
I stuck a gun in his mouth, but I never did get even.
I'd burn in hell for eternity to protect my children.
No woman could do that to another woman.
He'll remember that night for as long as he lives.
Well, I believe in atonement, Mr. Harvey.
I'm pursuing the truth.
Cracker, Monday at 9.
DFS and Northern Upholstery make you an offer that's years ahead of its time.
You get all the strengths of Britain's leading upholstery specialists. Plus, for the very first time, whatever you choose, it's yours free for 1 whole year. Take 4 years free credit and you pay nothing for 1 whole year. No deposit, no interest, and no payments.
You pay not 1 penny till October 1996.
An offer from DFS and Northern Upholstery.
Years ahead of its time.
Woke up this morning.
Woke up this morning.
Feeling a bit below par, actually.
Below par, actually.
Hello, Talking Pages.
Yeah, I'm in Glasgow.
Glasgow?
Need a locksmith.
Locksmith.
A suit hire.
And a taxi to London.
When you need help to make life run a little smoother, remember, Talking Pages is just a free phone call away.
I do!
Talking Pages. Call free 24 hours a day on 0800 600 900.
What we learn up here, we like you to enjoy down here. Saab, beyond the conventional.
Down at Iceland's 25th birthday party, it's an incredible 99p for Sara Lee double chocolate gatto. And with loads more great deals in store, no wonder everyone's celebrating.
Film on 4 presents Ken Loach's Raining Stone.
How much?
70, 80 quid.
A moving and humorous story of survival in the 90s.
Oh, I think that did the trick, Bob.
Phone's already out, and you're talking about a dress.
You can celebrate communion without any fuss or expense.
Give me some money!
I haven't got any.
Stay away from the police. Raining Stones, Tuesday at 10 on Channel 4.
And now on 4, why did the CIA delve into their coffers to fund abstract expressionism? Hidden Hands puts us in the picture.
For centuries, rulers worldwide have forked out fortunes to promote the arts. Rarely have they done so in secret. This program tells a bizarre story. How, during the Cold War, an arm of the US government provided covert funding for a huge variety of cultural activity. Intriguingly, this included work by some of the most resonant names in modernist art. Jackson Pollock, Willem de Kooning, Mark Rothko. Even today, much of the arts establishment refuses to address the issue of this covert patronage, or even acknowledge the existence of these hidden hands. For the patron was the Central Intelligence Agency.
It's my contention that the CIA not only engaged in a cultural Cold War in the abstract and purely pragmatic way, but that they had very definite aims in view, and they had a very definite aesthetic.
The idea that the world would succumb to a kind of fascist or Stalinist concept of art and literature.
When we launch a new car, we like to drop it. But because this new Polo is so solid, we thought we'd really drop it.
It's spacious, aerodynamic, power steering, but above all, this is the safest Polo we've ever built, with optional twin airbags and ABS brakes. The new Volkswagen Polo.
Shell have removed about half the lead from 4-star petrol. So, if you want to halve the lead your car puts into the air, you don't need a new car. You just need a new petrol. Fill up at Shell and help make driving that little bit cleaner.
Pictures so real you won't believe your eyes. Dolby ProLogic surround sound so exciting your eyes won't believe your ears. The ultimate home cinema televisions from Philips, including 100 Hz flicker-free pictures and widescreens. Philips, let's make things better.
Dear son, thank you for your letter. It was a lovely long letter. I'm sorry there's not much to do in the evening. We had a frost last week, but Father covered up the tomatoes, so it was all right. I'm sorry the food's not up to much. Never mind, I've sent you something. See you in 9 months. Look after yourself, Mum.
Kellogg's cornflakes, aren't they worth it?
Cellnet and Vodafone round up their calls to the nearest minute or half-minute. On Orange, a 10-second call is charged as 10 seconds. Another reason why, on average, Orange users save £20 every month. The future's bright. The future's orange.
New Sure 24-hour intensive for men.
Just help yourself to John Smith, who is sharp to say the word and it is yours.
There's something completely new in the pub. John Smith's Extra Smooth Bitter. Pure silk in a glass. So, you still don't need gimmicks.
the struggle with communism, the CIA's cultural commissars planned to mobilize abstract expressionism, the art's equivalent of long-range missiles. They had, however, a major problem. At home, abstract art was seen as subversive of true American values. Among the people who were shocked by it were Philistine but very powerful ranking congressmen, the kind of people who were to make policy in the McCarthy era. The domestic hostility to modern art had peaked in 1947, when an exhibition sponsored by the US State Department
How wonderful, because in actual fact the fashion industry, I felt that it's ignored because I look like I'm sort of like an artist in the field working on the sidelines.
Is recognition like this important to you?
I think recognition's important to anyone.
I can just say thank you to the industry for awarding this to me. I'm very proud and could only be a product of this country. And I have to thank all my wonderful staff who've been with me all this time. Thank you.
And so to the final prize in this year's awards ceremony, the title of British Designer of the Year. And the nominees are Bella Freud, Hussein Chalayan, Patrick Cox, Ghost, and John Galliano.
Bella Freud's introduction to fashion was as an assistant in one of Vivienne Westwood's shops. In 1990, Bella created her own label, which included tailored knitwear, accessories, evening wear, and shoes to complete the unique Bella Freud look.
Chalayan first caught the fashion world's attention when he buried fabric coated in metal filings in his garden. As a result, he went on to receive admiration everywhere. He's an intellectual, and his fabrics and designs are extremely popular. Ladies and gentlemen, the innovative designs of Hussein Chalayan.
Wonderful design and clever marketing have propelled Patrick Cox towards the top of the league table of designers and the status of superstar, judging by the constant queues outside his shops, for whom the expression Coxless pairs means the ultimate letdown. From shoes to bags and more lately fashion, there's no stopping this dry Canadian. It's good to see the work of Ghost on the London catwalk. Tanya San, the woman behind the Ghost label, has opted in recent seasons to show her collections in New York, where she has many admiring customers. Her show earlier this year was alongside the tracks at Grand Central Station. The creation of fabrics is especially important to Tanya. It's the starting point for her, and the design of the clothes only comes when she's got the fabrics right.
are the designs of Tanya San for Ghost.
John Galliano has a firmly established reputation for being reluctant to take to the catwalk. Instead, he favours more theatrical presentations, which usually include an element of surprise. His most recent show in Paris took the fashion world by storm, and tonight he's brought some of the Galliano magic to London. Just 26 when he won the Designer of the Year award for the first time in 1987, John went on to collect the award again last year, joining Vivienne Westwood and Rifat Ozbek, who've each got 2 of these awards on their mantelpieces. Will he be the first of our designers to win for a 3rd time?
To present the award for the British Designer of the Year, we have someone who was a great supporter of the industry during his time at the DTI. Please welcome Michael Heseltine and from Lloyds Bank, Sue Evans.
I must say that I'm very glad I haven't had to make the decisions here tonight. All I've got to do is to announce the winner, and that I'm going to have great pleasure in doing. The winner is John Galliano.
A hat-trick for John Galliano, who won the Designer of the Year in 1987 and 1994, and whose theatrical and dramatic designs will surely have a place in fashion history.
Whenever you get up there, you're very reluctant to speak. Why is that?
I don't know what to say. But the clothes say all I have.
I think John just takes you away from everyday life. He lifts you up and throws you onto another planet where anything's possible. And you actually see what true genius is. You actually can see it in front of your very eyes, which is really rare because most of the things that we call genius, like great paintings or great music, the people who actually did them are long since dead. So to see somebody who is a genius with cutting and fabric and embellishment, not only still alive, but actually in front of you, staging it and making it all happen, is just something that only happens once or twice in a lifetime.
I think that John Galliano sums up what fashion's all about. It's about ideas. He's a totally creative person, and we need more of them, because from those ideas, everything can be distilled. You see influences from what he's done 10 years back, still carrying on in fashion today in our high street stores.
It's to do with the detail, it's to do with the cut and the finish on it. The technique that goes into the making of those clothes makes them look impossibly easy. They just look as if they've been sort of wafted out of thin air. But actually that takes hours and hours and hours of painstaking work.
He's a deserved winner, and really it's symbolic of the fact that London fashion does seem to be back with its energy and its madness, really, and its eccentricity, and what people look to London for.
In next week's programme, we'll be selecting the companies to join the Clothes Show's DTI mission to promote British fashion at Hong Kong Fashion Week next January. We'll be unveiling the ultimate measuring machine and tracing the history of spectacles, comparing British frame design to the world leaders, the Italians.
If I may, I'd just like to address the TV millions. At last, after 11 years! 11 years we've been at this.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
All right, Clever Clogs, what would you say?
I was extremely... I'm sorry I waited so long, I forgot what I was doing.
Telly Addicts, every Monday at 7 on BBC One.
Pride and Prejudice, the final chapter, tonight at 9 on BBC One.
Now on BBC One, the great antiques hunt continues in Worcestershire.
Welcome to the Three Counties Showground in Worcestershire and the Malvern Antiques Fair, and welcome too to this week's bloodhound, Harriet, who's going to help us sniff out more antique bargains. Now, this rather unglamorous building here, in fact, houses a corner of paradise. Inside are about £1 million worth of antiques, but before we let the teams loose in there, let's meet them.
Hello, my name is Gillian Donnelly, and this is my teammate Bernice Keatley. We're both from Dublin, and we're the Green Team. I'm a part-time secretary. I'm married to Brendan. I have 2 children. I collect naughty books. I like playing bridge and meeting my friends for a chat.
Well, I work as an occupational therapist. My hobbies are gardening, and I also do a little bit of furniture restoration. When I'm not doing that, I usually play bridge with Gillian, and also we go down to Bewley's and drink coffee and meet our friends.
And they're up against the Reds, a father and daughter team, Robert and Katie.
Hello, my name is Robert Vince. This is my teammate, friend and daughter, Katie.
We both live in Cobham, Surrey, and we are the Red Team. The things I like doing are shopping, car boot sales, horse riding I do occasionally, and fashion drawing.
What I do for a living is to actually market products for large companies. I'm very interested in the Cobham Bus Museum. I'm often can be found drinking wine. Cheers.
This week, our teams will be taking a trip back in time to a turn-of-the-century shopping street, trying to spot real from fake Worcester porcelain, and will be testing their knowledge on one of this country's greatest designers, Augustus Pugin. Hello, everybody. Hello, Clive. Hi. Oh, glad you brought the sunshine with you. Come here, dog. Sit down. Now, before I send you off for your shopping fix of the morning, expert Clive Stewart Lockhart here is going to give you the benefit of his considerable, I'm told, wisdom. But before that, I'm going to give you the benefit of my considerable purse. £175 per team. And what we want you to do is to go and find a piece of treen that you think has the possibility to sell at profit. Because as you know, that's what we're really interested in, is profit. Now, Clive, treen, I'm very sorry, I don't know exactly what it covers.
Well, treen is one of the more complex terms in the antiques trade. Treen covers things made of trees, wood. There were utilitarian objects made locally, and the important thing with your money is to buy the best that your money can buy. Don't buy a £500 object for £200 if it's a wreck. Buy something that's really good for the £175 that you have.
I'm going to be very strict and only give you 20 minutes, and you've got to use them really well, those 20 minutes. They're valuable, OK? Get your skates on, you're off. Now.
Fine.
And don't be afraid to haggle, haggle and haggle again.
OK, well, what we're going to do now, so we'll go in and then we'll spread out.
Suggestion box. Suggestions. No, that's not.
Don't give up the day job.
Nothing on there?
Oh, these are nice.
No.
This would be too expensive.
Cheers, buddy. We'll come back to this one in a second.
How old is that? Smoker's cabinet, Bernice.
It's about 19 isn't
Smoking is really quite difficult.
Smoking is a bit un-PC, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
No, I think that's horrible.
No, that's nice too. It was only 1930. 75. Yeah. Okay. We'll have a little look around and maybe come back. Well, thank you very much indeed. Okay,
thank you.
That's nice.
Nice nutcracker.
That's rather nice. That's very nice.
Damage there, but I don't think that's
And that's a little nutcracker.
That's a little nutcracker, yes. So on the back of the man's head, there he is. Yes, there's a hole.
There's a little repair to the nose. I don't know if you've noticed.
tiny little piece of wood been let in.
It'll have to be a very hard wood, so it could be lignum, lignum vitae.
Would you
like it? Sorry, you come in.
Would you take 20 for that? Make it 22 and you've got a deal.
Go on, you're on television. Really. If it's been restored, it's changed significantly, but it's very nice.
I like that one. Can you pass that one down?
Sugar flavour. It's very nice, but it's too overpriced. I think it's too much flavour though.
Don't argue with me if I pick something up. I like the sugar shaker. I reckon the sugar shaker is a good thing to get.
What is it, and how, how does it work?
It's a
How
shop
old is it?
till.
It's back from the 1920s. It would have been screwed down to the counter of the shop.
This part, yeah.
Yes. And then every time they needed change, the bell rang, so you could hear if shoplifters were there. And then
No, don't buy that. Don't.
Don't touch it.
No, don't touch it. I mean, it's a fun thing to have, but this has got to go to auction, and at auction, who on earth is going to come and buy it?
I love that little sugar shaker. I couldn't see how you opened it there.
Yeah, but it is very
these
nice.
library steps.
Yeah, they're very nice, those.
Library steps are not, aren't they?
No, they're the fruit picker steps.
But I think they're very nice.
What's this?
It's one of these formidable Victorian machines. They had this idea that by holding electricity, they would make themselves healthier. But all they really did was gave themselves an electric shock. And you wound it like this, and it created a very
They sometimes come with the most terrifying-looking attachments.
How awful.
Yeah. The trouble is they're not very good sellers, unless the box is particularly nice.
I think the price is more of a shock than the...
What's the price? Would be a limited market
the price
for that,
is
would there?
£100.
No, for cash. I don't think there'd be many people who want to...
95.
90. 90 for cash. I have it in my pocket. Not many people in my pocket
90.
here.
Can we do it for cash, Mr. Collins?
Mr. Collins, £90.
Yes.
Not everybody would
Okay.
want to be electrocuted. Have to think about that. Think about this one.
Okay.
It's pretty, but it's nothing. It's ordinary.
It's a bit damaged.
It's very nice television, but it's ordinary.
That's nice, isn't it? What price is this though?
Oh, that's rather nice. It's a collector's cabinet. Very nice.
Oh, no, it's all painted inside, look.
So what would it be for birds' eggs or something?
Probably for birds' eggs, which of course was a big Victorian pastime and now is absolutely forbidden.
Collector's cabinet.
Yes, late Victorian. 285.
Too dear for us.
What does it say?
It's a stunner. It's for stunning rabbits or that sort of thing.
It's
How do you
a thing
use
called
it?
a priest for hitting fish over the head.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
A priest?
Or that sort of thing.
How rotten. How do you use it?
You hit them over the head with it.
Oh, you don't.
You do.
That's nice. That's nice. But we can't afford it. See, we have a problem because we really like it, but we only have £175. And we've come all the way from Dublin.
All the way from Dublin with our sterling.
With our sterling to buy.
Oh, I see, yeah.
It's a wonderful quality thing. And certainly, you know, with advice to buy the best quality for your money, they'd certainly be doing well if they could get it.
Life or death.
Well, obviously, I can't
We have
sell
to
it.
make a decision.
I can't sell it for that, obviously.
You can't sell it for that.
No.
And what was your price on that?
110.
Would you take 85 for it?
I'm afraid I can't, no. I could do you 100, but that really would be it.
What about that box there?
This is Coromandel, Victorian ladies workbox.
It's Coromandel wood, which is a slightly exotic eastern hardwood.
Oh, that's lovely.
Now this was where the ladies put their love letters.
Have you got a price on it? Oh, there we can see it.
Yes, there is a price on it.
165, I think it said. You think that's a bit on the high side?
Well, I think if they can knock it down a few pounds, it would be worthwhile.
Yeah, I think we should go for that.
You like that?
150. It's the absolute best.
Cash?
Cash. Cash.
Lovely, thank you very
Does
much.
that make a difference? 145.
145 for cash. That'd be lovely. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 100. We need £5 luck money. Well, I'm sorry, but I must have 150.
Yeah. Right.
I really must have 150.
No, fair enough.
And that one would be what? About 85 to take that one because of the damage on it?
No, I can knock you 20 off on that one. Better than my normal 10%. I can do you 90 on that.
Hey, £85. Cash.
Can't you? Pushing you too tight.
He's quite tough because he's made the guy hang on to it for 10 minutes.
£87. Come on, give me that.
Go on.
Thank you.
Well, Clive, how do you rate Gillian and Bernice's purchase?
Well, they bought a very nice box. It's a Victorian Coromandel work box with some of the original fittings. There are one or two little bits of mother of pearl missing there and there, but otherwise it's in very good condition. And I would have thought you should make a profit.
Good.
You got a sweet nutcracker or a nutcracker sweet?
Very good, very good.
He's got rather a sort of boxer's nose.
Absolutely, hasn't he? Yes, it's wonderful. I would imagine that you should certainly see a profit out of that. It's a jolly good thing.
Well, no points, of course, are going to be awarded for these pieces yet. That all depends on how well they sell at the auction at the end of the programme. And meanwhile, we're going to take to the water. Eastnor Castle is home of one of the country's last feudal landlords, the Harvey Bathurst. It was built in the early 1800s in Gothic style. Inside, there's an eclectic mixture of English and continental furniture and decorations, and I have to say, if you're going to have a castle, it might as well look like this, mightn't it? What we're particularly interested in today is furniture designed by A.W. Pugin, and in a couple of minutes we're going to let our teams loose in the drawing room just there, which was entirely designed by him. Now, Paul Atterbury, last year you organised an exhibition of his work at the Victoria and Albert Museum, and it's quite plain I didn't go because I can ask you, who was he and what did he do?
Augustus Welby Northmore Pugin, I think quite simply the most exciting and inventive designer of the Victorian period. He was into colour, into pattern, into ornament in a way that nobody had been before. And above all else, he really wanted to bring back an appreciation of medieval art. If one looks at a piece like this, the elements that make this Pugin really are the purity of form, the X-frame, its roots in the Middle Ages, and above all else, he believed in honesty of design. You can look at a piece of Pugin furniture and understand it totally. There's no deception, there's no veneer, it's solid materials, and it was this that really changed the face of design in the 19th century.
So, Paul, what's so special about the drawing room just along there?
Well, apart from the Palace of Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, it is the best surviving example of a Pugin interior in Britain. It's rich in colour, rich in pattern, and the most important thing, it is a completely coordinated design interior. Everything in it carries his clear mark.
Except for a couple. And what we want our teams to do is to identify the non-Pugin items. They've got 3 minutes to do it. There are 100 points at stake, and the red team, that's Robert and Katie, are going for it first.
Stunning desk, isn't it, Kate? That's lovely. I mean, this is all the style, isn't it? All this is just lovely. Lovely laburnum.
If you look down here, you can actually see the work down here, the detail down here.
Yeah, that's all very Gothic.
And then you've got the roses again here.
Well spotted. I think this one is so near to the style of the table and the desk. I just think it's...
Yeah, if you look at that here,
yeah,
it's almost identical to the walls.
I'm just ever so unsure about the chairs. This sort of carving, particularly the feet, and the gilding on them. I just think that is a totally different
Well, there's nothing
chair.
on there resembling any sort of...
I think it's a much...
earlier
chair.
Other pieces.
I think the pair of chairs is well. I'm just not sure about this piece. This looks very French with the marble and the fret at the top.
Similar to the detail they have on the French mirrors.
So look at the front of the cabinet. See, that looks all very ornate and very French, very continental anyway. I think this piece, Kate, if you look at the fret here, it's falling off, is different to the fret there.
The handles there are very...
I just think it's totally right in the room, but I don't think that is.
So,
right.
Just in the nick of time, I'd say, you've made a decision, have you?
Yes, we have.
What's it going to be?
Well, we think that the desk is not in keeping with the rest of it, and we think the pair of chairs are not.
And that pair of chairs. Okay.
Wow. Okay, where do we start? I think we'll go up here. We'll start, and then we'll look down and see. Okay. That's a very solid piece of furniture, and that's, you know, it's a solid piece of wood.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Really heavy and
very
big.
Gothic.
I'd say that's the real thing. This is the only one I think is definitely wrong.
Okay, well lift it up.
Yeah, hold on.
We'll move this. Yeah. Hold it right up, Gillian.
No, it's definitely different, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
This desk now. This desk.
Well, the desk matches the book stand, doesn't it?
No, I'd say that's all right, would you?
Yeah, I think that's huge, isn't it?
More chairs. The table. Oh, this little desk. Have we looked at this little desk?
What do you think of that?
I'm not really sure. Examine the chairs. They're different legs.
They're different legs.
The little bun feet.
It doesn't seem to fit in with the room. Sure it doesn't? No, I think they're too uncomfortable. That's okay. I think that's okay.
What
this, that, yeah.
So, Gillian and Bernice, have you got a unanimous verdict for us?
We have. Joint decision. And we've decided that this piece over here and these two chairs.
And the pair of chairs. Well, that's an amazing coincidence, because that's what Robert and Katie chose as well. Paul, how did they do?
And though your methods are very different, the astonishing thing, the amazing thing, is, of course, that you've both got it right.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Well done. Well done.
Well done.
Well done, Julie.
If you like,
What a lot of self-congratulation going
enough
on.
of that. It's science versus instinct, but it both got you there. Because, of course, the desk, as Robert rightly said, is a French, late 18th century piece, a secrétaire à bâton, a full front desk, typical French form, is, in a sense, in style with the room, but completely out of style. It's another epoch, another period altogether. Similarly, the chairs, superficially they fit in. They look right, they have a sort of heavy, sombre Gothic quality about them, but they're Italian, they're 19th century copies of a 17th century original. That didn't deceive you. Very good.
So, astonishingly, 100% all round. So we've got our first points on the scoreboard. That's 100 points to the red team, Robert and Katie, and 100 points to the greens, Gillian and Bernice. Walking into the Lost Street Museum in Ross-on-Wye is like taking a trip in a TARDIS. It's just full of amazing things from the past. Things like this old bike, French automata, pre-war packets of tea, laxatives, soap powders, and things I bet you never even knew existed, like Dennis's pig powders and gaslight papers. That's Eric Knowles trying to pretend he can play, but I know. Hold on. Wonderful, Eric. Yes. Wonderful. I'm really, really impressed.
Years of practice. Ah, you found me out.
But I actually managed to just turn off your light. Isn't this wonderful here?
It's fabulous. I could live here. You could, you know, lock me in, throw away the key. I mean, something for everybody. It's a veritable time warp. It really is.
In this game, Bernice and Gillian are going to the grocer's, and Robert and Katie are going to the chemist's. And in each shop, we selected 6 items that we want them to date. There are 3 time spans to choose from, 1880 to 1900, 1901 to 1920, and 1921 to 1940. They've got 2 minutes, there are 20 points resting on each correctly dated item, and the green team are going first.
Oh, gosh. Oh, look at the people in the bus, look. Yeah, read the paper. And see if we can find another one. Boarding, would you say? Yeah. Could be. Victorian. I'm going to another one. Well, I don't know. Okay. Saying that. This one. This biscuits again. Huntley and Farmer's biscuits. That'll be the earliest one, isn't it? So, put the, we think we have there. What's this? No, that's Edwardian. Yeah. Makers to the King, so that's Edwardian. This one, is it? Put that down there. That must be the later one as well, isn't it? Tea for two. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll put him there. And this must be Victorian, then. Yeah. Did you say? That's definitely the early one. Well, you seem to have decided very fast. No hesitation. Wham, wham, wham. But did they get it right, Eric?
Well, did they? Well, they certainly did with this this particular little box. The Gaiety Girl, late Victorian. That's around about 1898. So full marks there. But what about this tin? You're absolutely right. This is 1892. So it's a Huntley and Palmer's, and it's called the Fire Brigade, this particular print, and it's all very dramatic and very nice and colourful. So, spot on. You don't find many of these to the square mile in Ross-on-Wye. And do you know who the portrait's of?
The Duke of Windsor.
Very clever. Date-wise, 1907 or thereabouts. I'm going to put a value on that. There's no extra points for it. Do you want to put a value? Give it a go.
£100.
£100 for a light bulb? You wouldn't get that for £100 because it's £300, believe it or not.
£300?
But the main thing is you got it right. And what about this for a girl? Now, this is the face of 1910. And you were quite right. You looked inside and you saw, by appointment to Her Majesty, His Majesty the King. So we're talking Edwardian, about 1910 or thereabouts. You certainly spotted T for Two on here, which came from which musical?
I don't know.
No, Nanette.
Oh,
no.
Don't remember.
Now, the reason I know that...
Who sang it?
The reason I know that, because it says on here, look, from No, Nanette. But it's a little child's gramophone of about 1925, so yes. But what about the bus? Didn't you think that bus might have been a bit earlier? Maybe about the time of the First World War?
No, I looked at the costumes on the people.
Absolutely right. About 1925, the bus.
Great.
Again, a biscuit tin. If you saw that bus in an antique shop for £500, now be honest with me, would you pull out the readies and buy it?
No.
You're both quite adamant
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
All right. Well, you'd be balmy not to, because it's worth £2,000.
Wow. How much?
£2,000, yes. So you could say that is the one that takes the biscuit.
Oh, save us, spare us. Look at it, you've scored 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, which is the maximum score.
That's great, great. Super.
Oh, yeah. Doors feeding bottle.
Royal bean.
Oh, for 27 years you had. I mean, that particularly, that sort of case too, I think. And particularly the style of the...
Yeah.
I think that... I've no idea what that is. Unless it's the top of a bottle of some sort.
I think it's probably used in a shop.
So I would think that might be that one. I think
Wizard.
One would be that one. I think that one. That's certainly got to be the old one. That,
oh, no.
I should know that.
That could be older, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's certainly the oldest. That's my choice. If you want to change them around, don't.
Well, you seem to have ordered them into very neat and definite pairs, but are they the correct ones?
Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So let me quantify that little statement to you. First of all, absolutely right with the powders.
Yeah.
That dates from around about 1885. But alas, the camera, believe it or not, patented in 1902. So that should go over there.
Right.
Now, I noticed you were pondering over this girl. Well, she's known as a boudoir doll. And she would have sat on a padded base, rather like a large powder puff. But the giveaway, I suppose, is the face. That's very much a face from the Roaring '20s. Those are rosebud lips.
Absolutely.
That's an English rose, if ever there was one. So she goes over there. Let's have a look at this, because then this is wonderful. The bile bean cookery bar. You were on bile beans and you were fit for the rest of your life. This poor chap passed for 27 years. I mean, you could hardly expect the man to smile for the photograph, could you, having gone through all that purgatory? So, absolutely right, around about 1905 or thereabouts. You're absolutely right with this girl. I knew it was the easiest of the lot, wasn't it?
That was easy.
A real Art Deco girl, if ever there was one.
Yeah.
So, absolutely right to put it there. But there's the problem. There's the problem, because this should be over here. Believe it or not, this is known as a murder bottle. This was responsible for more infant deaths than I can care to mention. It has this ribbed screw and thread, and basically a lot of the milk used to sort of coagulate and get stuck in there, and it was just a breeding ground for bacteria. And consequently, it did baby no good whatsoever. Date-wise, about 1895 or thereabouts.
Well, that's 60 points to Robert and Katie, and the Greens take the lead with 220 points to the Reds' 160. Back in 1751, a porcelain factory was founded in Worcester by Dr. John Wall, and it has since become one of the greatest porcelain names in the world. The quality so impressed King George III that he gave it the royal warrant in 1789, and since then its products have always been known as Royal Worcester. Henry Sandon, of course, you're terrifically well known as an expert in porcelain, but not many people know that you're also the curator here at the Dyson Perrins Museum for a time, which houses the biggest collection of Royal Worcester porcelain in the world.
Yes, this was my happy home for 17 years, and I know every stick and stone of it, so it's wonderful to come back here. We've got for you to see what is, I suppose, the most precious pot in the whole collection. I managed to buy this back in 1973 for what was then the world's record price for a piece of Worcester porcelain of £22,000, and it was worth its weight in gold. The reason, of course, it's the first piece made at the Worcester factory in 1751 when they started up, and it has underneath the base a magical word, Wigornia, which is the Latinized name of the city of Worcester, and a precious little thing, but it was a terrible lot of money to have to pay.
Now, something of that sort of value, presumably people are going to want to fake it and pass them off as the real thing. How easy is that?
Well, fakes have been made all through the centuries. I mean, there's a couple of pots there. You see, one is a genuine Worcester mug of about 1770. The other one is a fake one of about pushing 100 years later. Now, they look very similar to many people, but one is, without striving, it looks absolutely lovely and beautiful. The glaze is soft, the body is soft, and the flowers and the birds and the scales, the scale blue, is done simply and beautifully by hand. The repro, or the fake, looks whiter because it's made of a bone china body. So, which do you think is the fake, Gilly?
If you hadn't have said anything to me at all, I think I would definitely have gone for this one as being the genuine. But now that you've said about this soft colours and the perfect painting of the bird, I think I'd go for this as genuine and this as fake.
You're absolutely right, that's right.
That's only with your help.
Well done.
But you won't be there to hold the hand of our contestants, I'm
No,
afraid.
no.
Because the next game, we want our teams to tell the genuine item from the fake. We've got 3 pairs, and they've got just 3 minutes to accomplish the task. We're going to give them a maximum of 90 points. That's 30 points for each correct identification. And we're going to ask the red team, that's Robert and Katie, to do it first.
Let's start with these, shall we? This one, I think, is just too fresh. All the colour of the blue is just too... The base has no wear on it. It's just too fresh. It's just too new. As opposed to this one, I think it's just creamier. It's just... I think that's beautiful, but I think that
Not
one's
as solid
definitely...
as that one.
No. But they're very difficult, those two. I'm not sure really about those two. Instinctively, I think that's the fake. I just think the quality, the clarity of the painting on that is better than on that.
I think that white looks too shiny.
Yeah. Go for that for the fake?
Yep.
Right. If you look at the two of those together, I think the quality of that painting is decidedly inferior to that. I also think the gilding on that is just... I think the stamp... I think everything is sort of wrong about this. And I think that would be the fake.
Okay, we'll start this out.
Okay.
You lift this one up, right?
Yeah, right.
Just look. And that's the C.
The hatched crescent.
The hatched crescent.
Can you hold it up the light? I can't see through
I
that.
can't see through that.
That's not good.
I just have a feeling about this one. I don't know.
Now, scales. Okay, they're not anything as good as these.
No.
These are much clearer. The bird is much better. The colours are better than this one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's the fake.
Okay. Now, these are beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah,
Both of them.
Really nice.
Okay. Don't know that, Mark.
It's really pretty.
And it's nice and smooth. The base there is nice and smooth. Nice actually feel to it.
Mm. Okay, that's the real one.
Okay.